Hello, and welcome to Human Resources Management. I wanted to provide a little bit of a PowerPoint here for you to help explain a couple of concepts that you're going to need to understand as you move forward in the course. If you take a look at the next slide, the learning objective for human resource management that we're going to cover is to identify and discuss the major processes of human resource management and the meaningful role of human resource management in creating a competitive and thriving workforce that meets the needs of the organization. Human resource management is defined as including all the activities managers engage in to attract and retain employees and to ensure that they perform at a high level and contribute to the accomplishment of organizational goals. As an overview of the components of human resource management, the first component is recruiting and selection. The second component is training and development. The third component is performance appraisal and feedback. And the fourth component is labor relations. Regarding recruiting and selection, managers use recruitment and selection, the first component of a human resource management system, to attract and hire new employees who have the ability, skills, and experience that will help the organization actually achieve its goals. For example, Microsoft Corporation has the goal of remaining as the premier computer software company in the world. To achieve this goal, managers at Microsoft realize the importance of hiring only the very best software designers. Hundreds of highly qualified candidates are interviewed and rigorously tested. This careful attention to selection has contributed to Microsoft's competitive advantage. Microsoft has little trouble recruiting top programmers because candidates know they will be at the forefront of the industry if they work at Microsoft. The second component is training and development. After recruiting and selecting employees, managers use the second component, which is training and development, to ensure that organizational members develop the skills and abilities that will enable them to perform their jobs effectively in the present and the future. Training and development compose an ongoing process. Changes in technology and the environment, as well as in an organization's goals and strategies, often require that organizational members learn new techniques and ways of working. At Microsoft, for example, newly hired program designers receive on-the-job training, otherwise known as OJT, by joining small teams that include experienced employees who serve as mentors or advisors. New recruits learn firsthand from team members how to go about developing computer systems that are responsive to customers' programming needs. The third component of human resource management is performance appraisal and feedback. The third component actually serves two different purposes in human resource management. First, performance appraisal can give managers the information they need in order to make good human resources decisions. Decisions about how to train, motivate, and reward organizational members. Thus, the performance appraisal and feedback component is a kind of control system that can be used with management by objectives, which is actually discussed at a later time. Second, feedback from performance appraisal serves a developmental purpose for members of an organization. When managers regularly evaluate their subordinates' performance, they can provide employees with valuable information about their strengths, their weaknesses, and areas in which they need to concentrate. On the basis of performance appraisals, managers distribute pay to employees, which is part of the fourth component of an HRM system. By rewarding high-performing organizational employees with pay raises, bonuses, and the like, managers increase the likelihood that an organization's most valued human resources will be motivated to continue their high levels of contribution to the organization. Moreover, if pay is linked to performance, high-performing employees are more likely to stay with the organization, and managers are more likely to fill positions that become open with highly talented individuals. Benefits are also included here. Benefits include health insurance, 401k, etc. The fourth component of the human resource management is considered labor relations. Labor relations encompass the steps that managers take to develop and maintain good working relationships with the labor unions that may represent their employees' interests. For example, an organization's labor relations component can help managers establish safe working conditions and fair labor practices in their office and plants. Managers must ensure that all these components fit together and complement their company's structure and control systems. For example, if managers decide to decentralize authority and empower employees, they need to invest in training and development to ensure that lower-level employees have the knowledge and expertise they need to make the decisions that top managers would make in a more centralized structure. As you can see, Component 2, Training and Development. We want to ensure that organizational members develop the skills and abilities that will help them in their jobs. It is an ongoing process, and it is ongoing because there are changes in laws, there are changes in technology, and there are changes actually in the organization's goals and strategies, and that requires that maybe organizational members learn new techniques or new ways of doing things within the organization. So, as a review, first component, recruiting and selection. Second, training and development. Third, performance appraisal and feedback. Fourth, labor relations. So why is human resource management so important? I'm going to quote Jones and George 2011 on page 391. One of the most important resources of all organizations is human resources, the people involved in producing and distributing goods and services. The greatest asset an organization can have is actually its employees. I'm going to talk a little bit next about equal employment opportunity. This is also known as EEO. Equal employment opportunity is defined as the equal right of all citizens to the opportunity to obtain employment regardless of their gender, age, race, country of origin, religion, or disabilities. The local, state, and national laws and regulations that managers and organizations must abide by add to the complexity of human resource management. The U.S. government has a definite commitment to EEO, and this has resulted in the creation and enforcement of a number of laws that managers must abide by. The goal of the equal employment opportunity is to ensure that all citizens have an equal opportunity to obtain employment regardless of those aforementioned traits: gender, age, race, country of origin, religious, or disabilities. There have been other laws that have gone into effect, major equal employment opportunity laws that do affect HRM, or human resource management. I'm going to give you just a couple of examples here. 1961 Equal Pay Act. The description basically is that it requires that men and women be paid equally if they're performing equal work. A law that's very important is Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. The year 1963. Prohibits employment discrimination on the basis of race, religion, sex, color, or national origin. Covers a wide range of employment decisions including hiring, firing, pay, promotion, and working conditions. My hope is that these PowerPoint slides will assist you in giving you a generalized background of which we are going to move forward in the course and study. Human resource management is an absolutely fascinating area, one of which I do hope you'll enjoy. What you do need to do is ensure that you read your textbook, make sure that you use some of the experiences that you've had in your own life to really apply those experiences to this particular course, because the truth is, for the most part, people do work in the employment arena and they have experienced different things that have happened to them while they're working. So keep those in mind as you progress through the course, and I do hope you do enjoy the course. Thank you so much. Please also, by the way, note that I have included some websites that you might want to look at in the news forum. I believe there are 4 of them at the present time. Just take a look at those, read through them if you have an opportunity. Make sure you do read your text, and have a great day. Thank you.